Am I interrupting something? Staring contest, maybe? Oh.
Hey everybody, it's me, it's Mad Montreal Man, the cute Montreal girl, and of course, Mad Montreal girl on camera. It's Thursday night, September 11th, but, well, it's comic book time, isn't it? No, it's comic book time.
I know, okay.
So, Nicole, who do you have for us tonight?
Well, I have 3 comic books today. And the first one that I have is...
Guess who?
Can you guess?
Can you
Can
guess?
you guess who it is?
I don't know who.
I don't know who it might be. Maybe it's Doctor Who? It is. So,
Yay!
yay! This one has Matt Smith in it. So basically, they're at this weird, crazy, theme park. Like, I don't know if you can see this or not.
Not really.
Well, it's a park
Sorry
with
for the
a bunch
coughing,
of
folks.
like weird things in it, like weird pink and blue pigs and stuff. And basically, the park has this one thing called Row Candy Floss, which is actually a thing that like sucks your brains and that's what they have to deal with.
So, sucking brains.
Yeah. The second one I have is Wild's End.
Number 1.
First one. It's so basically at the beginning they have like a few like 2 characters and they're like just walking and then they see this shooting star and they're like, "Oh, let's go check it out." And then it goes to this village and they're like talking about some stuff.
One guy's a rabbit, one guy's a pig, and from the looks of it,
One
there's
guy's
a fox.
there's a fox, there's a
In other
cat.
words, they're animal people.
They're animal, yeah. And
of the furries.
no. So the fox comes back and like, "Oh my god, this guy, he's like dead and stuff," and it's really intense. And then at the end something happens.
In other words, she's recommending it.
The last one that I have is Copperhead.
I read it too.
So I got kind of confused. I think.
Okay, basically, imagine it's pretty much a Western story, but in space on a different
I
planet.
think I missed a page.
I think you missed a page too.
When I read it,
So basically, it's like you got, of course, the sheriff, the deputy. They're in a town. It's in space. It's basically what it is. It's a Western cop show in a comic book form. I actually enjoyed it.
And there's these green guys that are causing some trouble. And at the end, something happens to the green guys.
The Westerns are coming back.
Something
We do recommend this one. It's also a new book from Image. Copyright number 1. So that's it for her. She's going to stick around anyway. Should we do the Allison's Insert one?
Sure.
Allison's Insert topic here only had 1 comic book this week. Yeah. It's sad how the girls have buying more comic books than the other one. Actually, I'm buying all the comic books. That's right. I pay for every single comic book we have here. She had Ape Sapien. You know how she feels about it. You know she likes it. It's number 16. I must admit, it is a fun read when I take a look at it. And the BPRD and so forth. So that's it. Now, we're going to have to get on to the Mad Montreal Girls comic books.
Yay.
Wow. It's getting to a point where she's getting more and more comic books. So we're going to start off. What?
How many does she even have?
She had 5 books this week.
And look how many you had. Look how many you had.
Yeah, but
Hey,
then he's the
hey,
Mad Montreal
hey.
Man. He is the
Someone's
main...
got to buy and read these to review them to tell people what's crap and what's
the
not.
main act.
Just keep in mind,
right
unlike
here.
other people's who do comic book review shows, we give an honest opinion. We don't say, well, we're sponsored by Dark Horse. This is a good Dark Horse comic book. I have no sponsorship. If I don't like a book, you're going to hear that I don't like a book. And I will tell you the truth about DC and Marvel every single time. So, but from Boom Studios, Suzanne, the Mad Montreal Girl, had Thomas Aslop. It feels like it just came out, like, what, 2 weeks ago?
It kind of does.
I think it
felt completely different from the last issue. It's like they're telling it to some lady, and it was kind of confusing, but it is pretty good.
Now, I must admit, to me, the most interesting about this thing was the back cover. Boom's got a new comic book called Deep State. The truth is out there, and they covered up. I might look at that one myself. Okay, next one she had, one she's been reading for a while, El Suicide Risk.
It was good as always, but I'd forgotten who some people were, so it was kind of confusing.
Yes, Concussion Girl is still recovering from concussion times. Now, this one is numero 3 of MPH. For those of you who don't understand MPH, if a car has to travel 80 miles an hour, and it's going 80 miles an hour, MPH, how long will it take to travel the 80 miles?
I think you said that wrong.
Could be, I'm really tired. But basically, miles per hour. So if you're going 80 miles an hour, you can cover 80 miles an hour. So MPH number 3.
I literally don't know what it's about, and I read it, and I was so confused. I'm sorry. It seems kind of
It's
interesting.
basically about these people who have ability to run really fast. It's a fun read. I look at it every week. Okay, she's got 2 left. Okay, this one she was really excited about. Number 2 of Hexed.
It is probably one of my favorite comics all around. I really do enjoy it. It's really good.
Is it as good as Runaways?
We don't talk about Runaways, but after Runaways, it's definitely like my number 1 next to Death Vigil, which is the next comic book.
Oh, it's just spoilers. Death Vigil's number 3.
Really good issue. I really like it. At 10 out of 10. It's super good. Read it. If you're not reading it, you're making a mistake.
So basically she's saying buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for the girls at comic books. So we're going to get down to business now. No, it's not time for that. Okay, well...
I'm not doing anything.
You thought it would?
Yeah, Matt Monchalgo's trying to do bunny shadows on my face right now. Okay, we'll start off with DC and Vertigo. Right off the bat, we have Coffin Hill. It's a good read. Allison reads it too. It's one of those sleeper books. It will pick up. You know, actually, no, hold on. Before I even talk about comics, I want to talk about that Once Upon a Time TV series. Okay, I know, I'm going off topic, but, you know, I've been a fan of Vertigo for a long time, and Vertigo had a comic book called Fables. It's been out for over 10 years, and I see this, pardon my language, Disney crap on TV called Once Upon a Time. It's a rip-off of Fables, people. Don't think it's an original show. Fables has been doing it for a long time. Think, Fables. All these wonderful fable characters are in a city because they have to leave their homeland. Wow. Once Upon a Time, Fabletown. I mean, come on. And now they're bringing Elsa from Frozen in.
I'm not that surprised, though.
Yeah, I mean, Disney owns ABC, so it's not surprising. But if you really want a good story involving those public domain characters, by the way, read Fables from Vertigo. So, okay, Coffin Hill's a good book. I'm sorry for digressing, but we're going to get back to it. Okay, Astro City. This is one of Allison's comic books. She likes it. I read it because, well, it's there. It's kind of a different take on superheroes, but sometimes I really get annoyed, especially by the very large-headed girl. Don't like that character. Okay, that's it for the Vertigos. Okay, and you know, it continues again this week. Then Future's End, New 52. Okay. Not a bad read, but still, it's predictable. So we're going to get into all the wonderful covers. Alright, Constantine.
Well,
finally an issue of Constantine that wasn't that bad, but predictable. Okay, Batgirl.
well, fancy covers.
Yeah, fancy covers. Yeah, I spent an extra $1 on these. Okay, Batgirl was so-so. Suicide Squad. No comment. Okay, The Huntress and Power Girl, World's Finest. I said it last time, most of these comic books, there's really nothing great about them. I mean, there's stories that they can forget about. So it's like, okay, it's a marketing ploy. It is a marketing ploy. Okay, the Batman one does have a cool cover. I must admit, Batman's got the best flip cover this week. Justice League United, or as they call it, Justice League Canada, even though it has nothing to do with Canada.
It's not even set in Canada?
It is set in Canada, but it has nothing to do with Canada, really. There's no Canadian heroes. Except in this one, there's a new Canadian hero. Wink, wink.
You just said there was nothing.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Alright, Birds of Prey. Superboy. Woo.
Fancy covers.
Forever People. And the Green Lantern Corps. Okay, how do I feel about the 5 years from now story? I said it last week. I might have said a while ago, hey, DC Classics, 10 years plus. This is 5 years plus. DC has done this before. They said, okay, let's look at the future. Then when that time falling happens, they don't change anything. They really don't. It's one of these things where you're going to buy the books. Nothing's really going to change because they're going to stop whatever's going to happen. It's their new Crisis on Infinite Earths. Except it's not as well done. Old DC, classic DC did it better. Really simple. Now, having nothing to do with the regular DC universe, Injustice, based on the game. This has actually been a good read. I know, it's weird. Al Jordan's in yellow.
How was the game? I can't remember. Was it good?
It was a fun game.
Do we still have it?
We have.
Yeah.
Why would I get rid of a game?
I don't know.
I mean,
I haven't seen anyone play
Everyone
it.
out there thinks we're hoarders. We're collectors. There's a difference. A
Hey,
hoarder.
and it's organized. Most of it's actually organized.
It's
now.
organized.
Yeah.
And hoarders don't throw away their garbage or don't give any stuff away. We give stuff away all the time.
And we
You'd be
do throw away
surprised.
garbage because that is the most disgusting thing when you don't throw away garbage.
You can't throw away garbage and have animals. Like, that's
I
just
know.
not a thing.
But, we are collectors. We may be collectors to the extreme, but we are collectors. Okay, Batman Eternal. It was okay-ish. Superman Unchained. Once again, was just okay. Continuity doesn't seem to exist in DC anymore. However, if you throw continuity away, you have Legends of the Dark Knight. Batman stories that have nothing to do with anything else, and quite often they're good. There's actually a good one in this one, too. So this is one I do recommend. Okay, we're going to go on to Marvel. Okay, right off the bat, New Warriors. Kind of silly. Okay, we had Hawkeye. Hawkeye has that, it doesn't feel like a Marvel comic book. It has that more sketchy art, but in this case, I don't mind it because it suits the storytelling. Fun cover for Captain Marvel. Spoiler, Rocket Raccoon guest stars. What a shock. This one, I love the writing. It's the way a fun comic book to read. This is the kind of comic book that anyone can read and watch the pictures and look at it. I am tired, folks. It's written by Chris Claremont. And Chris, if you're watching the show, because I know you do watch it from time to time, very good issue. I enjoyed it. Nightcrawler. The only X-Men book I will actually ever recommend, because it's well written. Okay, disappointing Avengers. Wow, the artwork in here was so bad. I mean, it was bad. This is bad artwork. I mean, from the House of Ideas, here's an idea, Marvel. Get some better artists. This looked like it was rushed. It looked like it was inconsistent, and the cover's the best thing. Disappointing. Okay, Avengers. Mostly a Hyperion issue. As we know, Hyperion is Marvel's version of Superman. I'm not impressed. The Fantastic Four. Not so fantastic anymore. Okay, and I am. Excuse me. I've been battling pneumonia all week, so I am kind of coughing a bit. I decided to pick this up because I like these kind of what-if stories and just a what-if story. But I picked up The Edge of the Spider-Verse #1, Spider-Man Noir. Okay. Now I will say, hi Mac. Yes, the cat's joined me. Nico's left. The artwork is sort of a more painted style artwork, which is kind of nice. The only problem is it's also very boring looking. It's painted artwork, but there's not much action. It feels like I'm looking at set poses, a storyboard. So a little bit disappointing for that. Next issue was the Gwen Stacy issue, which everyone's going to want. And yes, I did pick it up. I had to. Inhumans. Not a bad read. Fun. But of course, everyone's talking about this. The death of Wolverine. Oh, our Canadian guy. Yes, fancy cover again. Not a bad read. A little predictable when it comes down to it. But like I said, the artwork is pretty consistent. This is what kind of artwork I expect from Marvel. So that's it for the Marvels. Okay, we're going to get on to the Dynamite comics. We have Magnus Robot Fighter and, of course, Captain Victory. Good old-fashioned comic book. This one I like to take on Captain Victory, which, as you know, was an old Jack Kirby comic book character, and I like Jack Kirby characters. They're always well thought of. Not always the best creative costume-wise. Sorry, I know Jack was the king of comic books, but some of his costume colors choices were kind of very loud. Alright, Caliban! The plot thickens. Horror in space. I like it. From Valiant, we have 2 comic books. Sorry, the dog's barking. Yeah, I know. Until we get a real studio.
I'll go deal with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have Archer Armstrong and, of course, Harbinger. Okay, reads. Nothing too shocking, nothing too fantastic. From IDW, we've got the Rogue Trooper Classics. I do recommend this. Everyone in the UK knows Rogue Trooper for a long time. Shane knows it. I know it growing up with it. It's a good, fun read. It's the kind of comic books that are, mainstream but not mainstream, which I like. Also, my IDW, the Anderson from Judge Dredd spinoff. Nice, cool cover. Good read. It's one of those characters that Judge Dredd can actually have spinoffs with. I like it. So we're going to get on to the Image books, and there's quite a few this week. Here's one I'm telling people, if you haven't bought the first couple issues, go back and buy them. #3 of Spread. This is a good book, people. It's a good book. I do recommend it strongly. For the Spy people, still a good read. Velvet. I do like this series. The plot does get a little bit. I guess you can say the plot thickens in this one. East-West. It does. But an enjoyable series. The artwork, consistent. Not overly great, but this one's a bit more of a talking issue. But Lazarus, also a good read. Now, the next two, I'm going to recommend strongly. If you haven't been buying these series, what's wrong with you? Very cool sci-fi, BD style artwork. I love how this thing's put together. This is one of the best ones they've put in a long time. It's Prophet Strike File 1. It's basically explaining the future history of Earth in the Prophet universe. Really a good read. And the artwork is fantastic. It's so enjoyable. I can look at it and go, wow, that's cool. I like it. And this one, soon to be a movie or a TV series, because we know that from before. Sheltered. Yep. It's also a very cool cover. It's really cool. I mean, the plot's getting better and better. It's just like, I honestly wish this was a series right now on TV, because I'd be like, what's going to happen next week? Sheltered. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. Now, the next one I picked up. It's written by Grant Morrison. Artworks by Fraser Irving. I know I'm a fan of Grant Morrison's writing, but I've always criticized him for starting something and then dropping it. Remember the Doom Patrol? He's one of these guys who's good at writing short series. Don't expect him to write something long term because it never works out for him. But I don't think this will be a long series, but I do recommend it. The artwork was fantastic, and the writing wasn't bad. A little bit of a story plot we've kind of seen before, and I'll give you a spoiler. The guy's writing about something, writes about this guy, and the guy actually turns out to be real. Annihilator. I posted on the RX group page the other day his interview about it, so you know how I feel about it. Pick it up. And the last comic book from Image this week is The Superannuated Man. I love Ted McGeever. Really simple. His artwork's always fun. He takes a different twist. These are like the kind of black and white dreams you have when you're really tired and you have a migraine. You get these really cool things. So I know you're thinking, wait a minute. We haven't done a Marvel or DC or alternate cover of the week or all-around cover of the week. Well, like I said, it's a special day today, and I figure it's time to, sometimes you have to go to the bins and get old stuff. I actually went to my own personal collection for this. These are comic books I actually keep away from everything else. I actually keep these in a very secure place. But if we can have our drum roll. Okay, so the covers of the week. I want to start off with honorable mention goes through the ashes. We're going to go with Dawn. These are ones from, guess what, a long time ago. We're also going to give an honorable mention to 911 Emergency Relief. It may be 13 years since it's happened, but you know what? 13 years does not erase all the lives lost. We also have, honorable mention goes to 9/11. And the DC one is going to go to their 9/11 cover. Respecting the True Heroes. And we're going to give the Marvel one to their Heroes. And I'm going to tell you right now, the all-around cover of the week is another old one. And there'll be no credits tonight after the show. Sorry about that. The camera got turned off for a second. So the all-around cover of the week is going to be this one. I'm also, like I said, there's not going to be any credits or anything else in the show. It's going to fade to black. Because on this day of all days, I think it's really important that, as this cover says, we take a moment